All right, this is the third movement to the Seitz Concerto No.5 in the Suzuki Book 4. So, first thing that we're going to go over are some of the trickier spots, and we'll go through each section and I'll just highlight the spots to be practicing. So in the beginning, we're going to practice just the very beginning for what to do with the bow. So the beginning sounds like this. So we're going to start on an up bow slur. So find the middle of the bow to start. And then you're going to lift your bow out of the slur, stay close to the string, and do a catch on the B, which is colle. Use your fingers. And then set the bow for a colle on the down bow on the open A. Okay, so, and then we're going to go up bow on the G, and then we'll be détaché after that for the 16th notes. So all of the 8th notes, they have a little bit of a lift after them. So I'll always set the bow after each lift. Lift, set, lift, set. Okay, so a lot of little details there that need to be practiced so that the notes have some character to them and they pop out when you're playing. Okay. In the next part, we're gonna skip. I'm just gonna play through, but we're not gonna do any spots here. And then this is a repeat. That ends the first section. So really just the spot is at the beginning. Okay, and there's a lot of kind of similar things after that. So then we move into the slow section. All right, and there's a couple of places that you'll practice some expressive shifts. So follow with me here from the beginning and we'll get to those spots. So right in this next part, we have B and G. So instead of staying in first position, we're going to shift up the A string. So I'm using my third finger to play the G, which puts me in fourth position. But the way we're going to actually shift is a guide note. Our first finger is going to land on an E, and then we're in position to play the G with our third finger. You could do it in third position and use your fourth finger to play the G as well. So that's your choice. But we want to hear a little bit of the shift, so it's a very expressive moment in the music. Now, if you do find yourself in fourth position, at this point you're going to need to shift down into third. So you can play the third finger G and then shift to the third finger F sharp. Again. 3, 3. All right, and then after that D, you're going to replace it with your second finger First finger for the C sharp. And instead of playing the fourth finger for the F sharp, shift. So your first finger is guiding to an E again, and then your second finger goes down on the F sharp. Okay, so we play through those two spots there. And then you go back to first position. Now right here, instead of playing the B with your fourth finger, you're going to shift and use your second finger. And then cross over to the A string and stay in third position until you get to the open A. So that's the last spot. So there's 3 total spots with shifts in the slow section to practice. All right, and we get to the third section, and this is with a lot of slurs and string crossings. To the fourth section, and this is where we're going to spend basically the rest of our time here. So we have a lot of double stops to play. Okay, so there's a lot there. So I'm just going to go back through, we'll go through some of those things very slowly. At the beginning of it, really it's not that bad because you're playing open A. All you're doing is really fingering the E string and adding open A with it. And then after that, you're fingering on the D string and you're still bowing open A. And then your first finger goes on 2 strings, the G and D strings, and you play that with the open A. Again, you're just fingering the E string here and adding open A. And then back to the D string with open A. So it sounds a lot more difficult than it is in the beginning. All right, and then it's the same thing with a different bowing. So slurring, 2 down, 1 up. Okay, and then when we start fingering 2 strings at the same time, it's a little bit more complicated. So the first note here is it's a tritone. Your first finger is on a D sharp, so it's a low 1 on the D string with an open A. Okay, so it has kind of a very dissonant sound. But it needs to be in tune with the open A, and then your second finger needs to be in tune with the finger you just played. Okay, and then so the first finger's on D sharp, and then the second finger's on C, and then you have the C with the A on the E string, and then you keep the A and you replace the C with a B, so another dissonant chord here, and then you replace the A with the G, and then it's easy, you just lift and play the B with the open E. Okay? And then that repeats. Okay? Alright, and then we stay open, you're fingering the A string with open E played along. And then you add your first finger to the E string for a low F. So you play that simultaneously with your D. And then scoot your finger up to the F sharp. Keep your third finger in the same D. There it's easy. And that's easy too. You're just playing, but you're adding open A and adding open D. Okay, and then this repeats. So really that's the most difficult spot in the chord section. So I would just practice that very slowly. All right, and then the second time, you're only fingering one note and doing the other open. And then here, you have to have your second finger and third fingers down for the C and the A. And then you're going to play a 4-note chord. It's an easy one, open G, open D, with a B and a G. And then reach your B, so you'll have octave Bs now, here and here, in tune. And then keep the B down while you're playing. So your first finger, if it can be on the E string, it's helpful here. Because after you play 4-3-2, you need to play 1 on both strings. And then after that, you're going to make sure your finger stays on the B, but comes off so you can play open E with it. So you're playing, essentially just playing a scale down on the E string, but with your B at the same time. Okay? And then, oh, we did all that. And then here, your first finger goes on the G and D strings. And that's tricky because not only does the fifth have to be in tune between these strings, but it also has to be in tune the D string with the A, open A. And you can't adjust your open string, so you have to tune the E on your D string with the open A. Once that's in tune, you've got to make sure you can keep it there while you play your first finger on both the D and G strings. So that's a little bit tricky, it takes some practice. All right, and then after that, that's the end of the double stops. Last spot, instead of playing the A on the E string, it's a lot more fun to shift your hand up and play a harmonic. So on a harmonic, you're gonna play this A on the A string. You're in fourth position. Your pinky finger is the finger you use, and you're gonna keep your finger very straight, very lightly on the string. You're not gonna press the string down at all. Also, make sure none of your other fingers, nothing else touches that string. And then your bow has to have a very fast bow speed. And if you can get a little slide up to it, a little glissando. Then it sounds kind of fun. All right, so just to recap, we had a spot in the beginning, the very beginning of the piece. 3 spots that are for shifting, expressive shifts in the slow part. Not really anything to do yet in the third section with the slurs. And then we have the chordal section, and there's that one spot that's a little bit trickier. Maybe a couple spots really you probably should practice. Just kind of isolate and repeat in the chord section, and then you have the shift to the harmonic at the end. So those are the spots that you should start with, and when you get the hang of those, and those are getting good, then you can go fill in the rest.